Hello and welcome to KMVC News. I'm Jayla Jackson. The Missouri Valley College men's soccer team took to California to compete in the NAIA National Tournament for the second consecutive year and for the seventh time in the last 8 years. KMVC Marissa Mastro reports on yet another season for the Vikings that ended in the national championship game.
For the title, yes! Central Methodists have done it! The Eagles are the 2018 NAIA Men's Soccer National Champions.
I mean, it's a obviously great accomplishment to get to the final, but also in the same time it's tough to swallow those losses in the last second or split second on the last shot and stuff like that.
It's tough. It's tough for us coaches, it's tough for players, maybe even more.
Watching the national title slip away from the Vikings was especially difficult for sophomore Sergio Toro Garcia, who was out for a foot injury last season during the national final. Yet again, Garcia watched from the sidelines as the Eagles took this year's national title.
I was running for the ball and I tried to shoot, trying to score, and a man fell down over me, and it was really, really painful. For me, the hardest injury in my life.
Garcia has been a valuable player all season with 14 goals and a total of 31 points. Garcia says the other strikers on the team stepped up after he got injured and allowed the team to finish as strong as it did. However, the Vikings still ended their season as national runner-ups, this time to school rival just 40 miles down the road, Central Methodist.
I remember last year I was like, okay, I don't want to repeat this. I can't go through it, and then it happened again. To be honest, I would rather lose in the semifinal, something like that, than go all the way to the final, especially because both years we were a better team, and then we lost. But I think that's going to give us even more motivation to win it next year and then years to follow.
Head coach Vladimir Simic says the team will recap this year and begin planning for next season.
Hopefully we can make that last step, which is the trophy. But this feels to us like a trophy as well. I mean, getting there second time in a row in the final or championship game, not many teams were able to do it. So I'm proud of the guys in the coaching staff.
Both coaches say they would not change a single thing about their season. Marissa Mastro-Valerio, KMVC News.
The Vikings finished the season with an 18-4-3 record and as the national runner-up. Missouri Valley College Malcolm Center for Students' Life became the Center for Students Research as it was the site of the first of two students' research symposium for the academic year. The research can cover an array of topics, and as KMVC Clay DeVault reports, some of that research stems from personal experience.
More than 280 students presented projects at this year's annual Student Research Symposium on November 30th. Valley student Emmy Ward decided to research the addictiveness of the drug Adderall. This is a topic that hits close to home for Ward. She says her sister became addicted to the drug when she was prescribed Adderall for ADHD.
She became very addictive, and after a couple months she became depressed, wasn't eating at all, losing so much weight. So my parents started to wean her off of it because it is very addictive and it causes really bad side effects.
Another student, Amaya Jimenez, decided to perform a dance routine in an effort to show the similarities between drug addiction and the addiction to love. She was inspired by her sister who battled drug addiction and was involved in a toxic relationship with a boxer. She says it's easier for her to tell a story through dance rather than by speaking.
I know, my sister wasn't brave enough to tell her own story, so I think it's easier for me to tell it because I don't actually have to say anything. I can just portray it through my movements.
Jimenez explains the reasoning behind her dance costume.
Since it's about drug addiction and the addiction to love, I thought that the easiest way to portray that would be through rags because, people who have problems with drug addictions usually don't have the best attire.
Missouri Valley College President Bonnie Humphrey addressed the students at the end of the symposium. She says she wants to ensure students that the skills they are developing will be used in every facet of their lives.
So this is just a tremendous opportunity for you. It's a great confidence builder, and I applaud your efforts to jump in and just keep going.
Ray DeVault, KMVC News.
The 280 project is the most in the program's 3 years history. Missouri Valley College is hosting another student research symposium in the spring. The spring symposium is scheduled for April 26th. The aisles of Missouri Valley Merlin Library are lined with letters identifying various books. Missouri Valley new library director name is lined with letters indicating his various degrees. KMVC Alex Perez reports on the man with 5 degrees who is writing the latest chapter for Valley's 90-year-old library.
Missouri Valley College new director of library, Dr. Brian Carson, was just 4 years old when he first fell in love with books. He spent 19 years as a librarian manager at Western Kentucky University before coming to Valley. He says reading books is like a hobby that he enjoys doing on a daily.
I read for 2 different purposes. One is just simply to learn, and the other is for entertainment.
Carson graduated with a bachelor's degree in economics and a master's in librarian science. But most of all, he graduated with the Juris Doctor that he says helps him as a librarian.
I did work in the law school library while I was in law school, and that's when I decided that I wanted to get a master's degree in library science as well. If you work in a law school as a librarian, you have to have both degrees. So,
while he serves as the new director of library at Valley, Carson says he hopes to be an aspect to the school.
But I'd also like to encourage a culture of research of all kinds among the faculty, the staff, the students here.
Carson says making quick changes in the department can affect students. Alex Perez, KMVC News.
Carson replaces the retired Pam Reed, who works in the Merlin Library for 28 years. Stress, anxiety, and fatigue are some of the most common feelings students experience in the finals week. KMVC Santiago Salazar's reports on how the school is preparing students with different resources to help them in the last week of the semester.
Another semester at Missouri Valley College comes to an end as the students prepare for the last week and their final exams. But for many students, handling this situation can be a challenge. Elizabeth Bellamy, Associate Dean of Students, was the person in charge of workshops that took place in the Bacon Room at the Malcolm Center. She says that these workshops provide students useful information and tips for their exams.
But we really wanted to focus on having a resource for taking final exams and to help students build confidence, deal with test anxiety, and learn some tips when you're in a test and you don't know the answer to something, how to make an educated guess or rule out some answers, that kind of thing, and how to view test taking as part of the learning process.
But Valley students can find more than that on campus. The school tries to provide enough resources for students to cope with stress and have the best learning environment possible. The Merle Library had extended hours over the weekend and is currently offering free popcorn. Also, the dining hall held a late-night breakfast on December 3rd for students to take a break and enjoy a good meal. Sarah Mualain, a freshman at Valley, says that for her it is important to feel that she has the help she needs.
So I'm a general person that wants to do everything perfect. Overall in finals week, that's very important for me. So MVC offers me people and places that make this time easier and less stressful.
Both Bellamy and Mualain agreed that for the students this is a very stressful week and that any help that they can use can be really helpful. Also, Bellamy says that the Student Success Center is willing to help not only with academic related things, but with any problem a student can have. Santiago Salazar, KMVC News.
Some of their advice for students during this final week is get enough hours of sleep, stay hydrated, and eat well before an exam. The Study Abroad program is setting up the first group trip overseas with both an honor and nursing program. KMVC Ben Boyer reports they plan to study healthcare policies, how they differ from those in the United States, and determine if they impact the society in a positive manner.
The Missouri Valley College Study Abroad program has sent students to China, London, Russia, Spain, and almost too many places to list. But this May, students are traveling to the United Kingdom to study healthcare policies and broaden their horizons about the different aspects of living outside of the States.
I've been teaching in the honors program since it started and been on the honors committee since it started. But this is, if we have this trip in May, this will be the first time that we've done a trip like this.
In years past, students have studied abroad on their own, setting up their own schedules and learning objectives. This year, students will get hands-on experience alongside their teachers while directly observing healthcare practices and policies in a place that is far different from the United States.
A few honor students who have independently studied abroad, but this is the first time we've tried to kind of organize a trip specifically for honor students and to organize a trip connected with an honors class.
The program is designed to immerse students into another culture. Studying abroad is a great opportunity for any student to step outside of their comfort zone and see the world. The trip dates have not yet been disclosed. Ben Boyer, KMVC News.
The art department also has learning on location. All through this trip is domestic arts. Students are traveling to New York during spring break to visit several of the museums as part of the department Art on Location program. One of the challenges some Missouri Valley College students face is what to do for food once the dining hall closes at the end of the fall term. KMVC Drake Higgins reports on Theta Phi Alpha's food drive for students that are staying on campus over winter break.
A 3-day food drive for students that will not be staying on campus over break opened up an opportunity for students that wanted to get rid of non-perishable foods that they will not be using.
The food drive is providing food for all the students that will not be going home over break.
Joy Reynolds said she wanted the drive to be extended into finals week so more students could benefit from it.
I feel like extending it for another week is a huge opportunity for us to make this event bigger because next week everybody will be leaving and they will have to have somewhere to put their food and they can give it to us instead of putting it in the garbage.
Reynolds said they would also be accepting monetary donations to benefit students over the break.
We're looking for mainly non-perishable, something that you can put in the microwave, and if you want to donate any monetary value, take it to Stacy Gann.
Reynolds said she wanted this to be a way Theta Phi Alpha could give back.
Well, I don't want it to benefit our sorority in any way other than that we are giving back to our community.
Drake Higgins, KMVC News.
Winter break begins on December 7th. The spring semester starts January 8th. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are the start of a busy time for the Missouri Valley mailroom. Students are receiving packages from all over, and it's up to the staff of the mailroom to make sure that Vikings get their packages on time.
The holidays are here. That means many students are buying gifts for their family members and for one another. The flow of packages in the mailroom goes up.
During holiday seasons, we tend to have a big increase in packages, especially a lot of international students will be buying things to take home, products from America that they can't get in their countries, as well as Christmas gifts. A lot of people buying Christmas gifts or families sending care packages to students, and so we usually have a bigger number of packages during this time of the year.
Dalia Cantu is a foreign student from Mexico. She shops on Cyber Monday and Black Friday to buy items that she can't buy in Mexico.
I usually buy gifts for my family, but this Black Friday was just like about me, and I got like a couple of sneakers, a pair of jeans, 2 bags, and like just things that I don't really need, but like things I like.
For some students, Black Friday is a way for them to save money while buying gifts for their family over the holidays.
I think I did. There are a lot of like 50% off sales, buy one, get one 50% off, 30% off the whole store. So I think I saved quite a few dollars this year, yeah.
The mailroom distributes the packages out to the students in a timely manner.
The mailroom receives more than 200 packages throughout the U.S. Postal Service, FedEx, and UPS following the Thanksgiving break, which is about 10 times more than normal. Laptops, TVs, watches, gaming consoles those are a few of the items that can be found in many dorm rooms across campus. KMVC Marissa Mastro reports on what it was like for one Valley student to have some of her items stolen from her dorm room.
Anya Myers is a Missouri Valley student who has had personal items stolen from her on-campus apartment earlier this semester.
I mean, honestly, it kind of freaks you out a little bit because at least for a week I kept looking around and like thinking I was missing something because I wasn't entirely sure exactly everything that was stolen. I knew like major items were stolen. I had like a Wii console stolen, a pair of shoes. But like when you misplace something, you think, oh, maybe they stole it, and it kind of freaks you out and like makes you worry more and more.
Nick Bamer, head of campus security, says there are steps to take in the event of a student having items stolen from them while on campus.
Well, they need to come in and make a report to make a statement out of what took place and approximately what time, the best knowledge they can, what everything they can provide. And then we go through the investigation and see if we can find any witnesses or anything like that.
Bamer says the best way to avoid having any items stolen is to take preventative actions.
We can't be everywhere at once, but I try to remind students. That's why I send the emails out about keeping your doors locked, because that way at least it's a potential to stop them from, breaking into your room.
Aside from locking your doors, Bamer says to take note of serial numbers of your items, be aware of who lives around you, and report suspicious behavior. Marissa Mastro-Valerio, KMVC News.
The Missouri Valley College annual incident report shows that there were 18 reported burglaries on campus in 2017, which is a 55% increase from 2016. One of the largest art collections of Jesus is close to being on display at Missouri Valley College. KMVC Ben Boyer reports on housing the body of works of Christ.
Missouri Valley College campus chaplain Pam Sebastian was reading a religious journal about 2 years ago and ran by a small ad reading, "Retired pastor looking for institution or organization to house art collection."
And this is like almost 2 years ago. And I did, oh man, these have to come here. It is, by his reckoning, the biggest collection of its sort anywhere. A big part of the reason that we got this collection is that it is culturally very diverse. Jesus looks like everybody on our campus in this place.
Reverend Paul Smith has collected over 240 pieces of art, over 50 years of ministry, and lined the walls of Broadway Church with all of his collection over the years.
My theology and my practice, I think Christianity is all about Jesus, and then Jesus is all about us. He's the light of the world, but he said also we're the light of the world, so we're just like him potentially, and that's the idea, to identify with him and his humanity and divinity and our own and own it.
Tim Schulte and 3 groups of students helped to clean, categorize, and design the exhibit in the order of the Nativity, the ministry of Jesus, the crucifixion, and then the Transfiguration. It has taken almost a year to set up, and the gallery displays 178 mounted pieces from the collection. Ben Boyer, KMVC News.
The Faces of Jesus collection is appraised to more than $200,000 and displays reprints of works by Warhol, Dali, Picasso, and Da Vinci. The official opening date has not yet been released. For many students at college, rooms are for sleeping, studying, and living, but one Missouri Valley College student is using her room to produce some of her best work. KMVC Shane Claire reports on the woman who is a student and an athlete and a business owner all in one.
Tori Penmantel is a Missouri Valley College junior who keeps busy being a student, cheerleader, and runs her own business out of her college dorm. Penmantel talks about how she created Cheer Bows by Tori.
I started when I was a senior in high school. My coach needed someone to make bows for us, and I had never done it before, but I needed money off of my dues for the year, so I started YouTubing and Googling how to make them and examples, and the first ones I made were awful, but we used them anyway, and it just kind of branched out from there.
Pimentel attends Missouri Valley on an academic scholarship and succeeds in her major. Just recently, Pimentel changed her major from being a teacher to business in hopes that she uses this degree to excel in her bow business.
Yeah, so just, it was like less than a month ago, I decided to take out the education part of my degree and minor in business because I don't know a lot about the business side, I just know about the creativity side. So I want to learn how to make it grow and be something I can do full-time after I graduate.
Penmantel has been a key flyer for the competitive cheer team and has 2 conference titles and a national title while being a Viking. Penmantel is set to graduate in the spring of 2020 and hopes to expand her business right out of college. Shane Clary, KMVC News.
2018 has lost its fair share of well-known names, from Stephen Hawking to Aretha Franklin, to one whose works this generation of students grew up seeing on silver screens. KMVC TJ Barnes reports how a comic creator's legacy affected students all over Missouri Valley.
Stan Lee, the creator of Marvel, passed away on November 12, 2018. Superheroes from Captain America to Spider-Man all came from the mind of Stan Lee.
2018, the celebrity death victim the most had to be Stan Lee because I'm a big Marvel fan, so I'm going to miss the guy.
Stan Lee turned some of his most famous comics into movies. In fact, according to Numbers.com, 4 of his films are in the top 10 biggest box office attractions.
I have to say in 2018 would be Stan Lee's death because he's a creator of Avengers and I enjoy watching all those movies he has drawn up and done since the comics. So,
with a couple big name movies still appearing in 2019, Stan Lee didn't leave without saying goodbye, as his legacy will live on with the generations to come.
He allowed kids to live their dream and their fantasies through his movies, you know what I mean? It's just it was a real heartbreaking moment when he died, you know.
TJ Barnes, KMVC News.
Lee made cameo in all of his Marvel movies, and the next Marvel movie is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which an animated addition to the Marvel Universe and is set for release on the 14th. Lee filmed cameo for the movies up to next April, release Avengers 4. The NAIA became the first intercollegiate athletic association to recognize women wrestling this year. So after spending years not being a part of a division, the Missouri Valley College women's wrestling team enters its first season as a member of the NAIA. KMVC Alex Perez reports on the program's success so far this season.
In its first season as a member of an NAIA division, the Missouri Valley College women's wrestling team ranks number 15 in the first edition of the Coaches Poll. Valley's head coach Carl Murphy says his off-season recruiting was a success, after nearly half the team are full of newcomers.
We got a couple impact wrestlers. Jocelyn Murphy is out of Jacksonville, a freshman. Jacksonville, Illinois. She's nationally ranked right now. And Allie Bush is from Hawaii. She's in the rankings now. So we got 2 freshmen in the rankings, so it makes a pretty good recruiting year.
Valley competes in the KCAC conference and is one of the 6 programs from the conference that are ranked, including 3 individual wrestlers from Valley itself.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have 3 more that are going to get in there too. They just have to win some matches at the right time, and they will.
Rule McTeer is one of the 3 wrestlers at Valley that are ranked in their weight class. McTeer is ranked 3rd at 155 pounds, but she says her goal was never to be ranked.
My goal is to be like top 3, which is realistic. I mean, ideally, like you would want to shoot for being a national champion, but realistically, my goal is top 3.
We're better at the heavyweights now. Wu's always getting better. Yunaris Tavares is getting better. Julia Mata, she'll be right in the mix at nationals. So.
Murphy says the goal this season is to finish top 5. Alex Perez, KMVC News.
The women's wrestling team's next tournament is on January 4th at the NWCA National Duel in Louisville, Kentucky. Once upon a time, this very studio was the home of strikes and spares, and not just in the grade books. Missouri Valley's Ferguson Centers housed a bowling alley in the past, but as KMVC TJ Barnes reports, bowling is now a part of Valley's future.
With Missouri Valley announcing bowling as their new sport, they wasted little time naming a head coach. Stan LeBout is no stranger to the sport of bowling. He is a man with more than enough on his resume to fit the job.
Okay, I started when I was 10 years old, and I started right here, and I've been bowling ever since. I attended Warrensburg in 74, 75, bowled for the school up there, and got a little taste of it, and it was a lot of fun. And then came back down to Boonville and been here pretty much ever since. Started back here at 21, 22, and been here ever since. So.
Even though LeBout is a former professional bowler, had a PBA card for over 9 years, he is new to the coaching world, but has an idea where he wants to start recruiting.
I'm assuming we're going to travel around and look at some other bowling centers, like some local places like Columbia, maybe even California, some small towns. And we travel and do a lot of bowling in other centers and do very well at it here lately. But we're going to look for some kids that are aggressive and want to play. I want somebody who wants to improve, and we want to win.
LeBout wants to practice twice a week and go matches twice a month. He does his own drilling and has access to companies for the equipment. His plans are to get started right away to get the team ready for the competition. TJ Barnes, KMVC News.
Missouri Valley's bowling team starts its first season next fall. The next Viking home faculty is in Boonsville, and the addition of bowling now gives Valley 33 varsity teams. The end of the semester at Missouri Valley means the start of a couple of Missouri Valley traditions. First, the music department has hosted a holiday music show for more than 30 years. KMVC Drake Higgins reports on what goes into putting the show on and how the costumes are themed.
All my life has been a series of doors and boxes, and then suddenly I bumped into you.
The Missouri Valley College Music Department hosted the annual Holiday Music Show this winter. Director Diana Malin says she split this year's show up into multiple scenes.
The first scene focuses on the annual ugly Christmas sweater party, and so that's why you see the students all decked out in the crazy Christmas sweaters. The second scene, I always like to do things for younger audience. So I decided to do music that had a winter theme. That's why we had numbers like Hot Chocolate and Love is an Open Door and Journey to the Past, things from Anastasia, Frozen, Polar Express. I always finish the Christmas show with the Christmas story theme. And so we kind of focused on things that related to Mary and Joseph.
Malin says she evaluates the students in the ensemble first before she can choose how to go about the show.
Well, when I start looking at music and start thinking about what I want to do to develop a show, I look at the students that are in our music theater ensemble group first. What are their talents? What are their interests?
Costume designer Diane Rosema says she teaches students how to sew in order for them to help make costumes for the show.
Because we have students who work in here and they rarely know how to sew when they come in, so they're learning how to sew. So they're working more slowly and they're making the normal mistakes. So it takes them a while to do something. And I try to give someone a project and let them take it from beginning to end.
Trey Higgins, KMVC News.
Another Missouri Valley end of the semester tradition is the celebration of the hanging of the green. The KMVC Shane Clary reports the night show many religions practice on campus.
Here, I love Missouri Valley. I love this event. Thank you so much. You've done a great job.
The hanging of the green is a yearly tradition put on at Missouri Valley College. There is a formal meal, followed by fellowship and walking around the campus as the sidewalks are lit. President Bonnie Humphrey says that this is a very special time of year.
We're excited to start our holiday season with the annual Hanging of the Greens, and every year it's gotten a little better and a little different. People put a little different spin on it, but it's basically to bring everyone on campus together in a great feeling of fellowship and unity and love for one another.
Remember the reason for the season and enjoy the holidays. Shane Clary, KMVC News.
That's KMVC News for the fall semester. We're back in January. Thanks for watching. I'm Jayla Jackson.